What's up guys and welcome back. Unfortunately this week I have some very sad news to share. There's been a disaster in the tank and it's all because of a water change. Obviously, everything that happens in the tank is my responsibility, so of course I have to accept at the end of the day that it's my fault, but a lot of the fish are gone. I was doing my water change one night and the first fish to show signs that something was wrong was the rainbow shark, one of my favorite fish. At first he was having trouble keeping himself upright, but it got worse pretty quickly and he was gone the same night. At this point, whatever happened was not yet affecting the rest of the fish. They seemed okay. I stayed up for a while, tested the water, nothing seemed off, but eventually I had to go to sleep. And then, the next morning, I woke up to dead fish everywhere. And any fish that weren't dead were up at the surface like you see here. Whatever had happened was bad, and I still had no idea what it even was. So of course I was sitting there trying to figure out what happened, but it was bad to the point that even though it was just the next morning, the red you're seeing there on the screen is even the algae on the acrylic dying too. Let me know in the comments if you think that's something else, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Like I said, not absolutely everything was dead. There were still shrimp and the Corridora were alive, but they were clearly feeling the effects of whatever had happened too. And the plants were dying extremely quickly as well, and this is the very next day. The leaves on the tiger lotus were withering away, and you'll see here in a second the same thing was happening to the Ludwigia and the pink flamingo crypt as well. I'm not showing any of the bodies in this video, but every single one of the rummy nose tetra I just added in the last video were already gone. I have a second smaller red tiger lotus in the tank and it looked like it was going through the same thing. But surprisingly, all three of the peacock gudgeons, which I had just gotten at the same time as the rummy nose tetras, were still alive. And moving to the next day again, the plants just kept getting worse. But at this point I realized, and anybody who watched my first videos may realize it as well, this is suspiciously similar to the crazy plant die-off I was getting when I first filled up the tank. At that time, I thought it was possibly because of something in the substrate because I hadn't washed it, or that some of the plants dried out a little too much, but now I know that wasn't the case. And I've done plenty of water changes with absolutely no problem on the tank by now. But then I realized, what did the last water change and the very first fill up of the tank have in common? The only thing is this water hose I used. I usually use a Python for all my smaller water changes, but when it came to needing to put very large amounts of water in the tank, like now, or when I first filled up the tank, I just used the water hose. I'm guessing something in the lining of that hose caused all of this, which is still completely my responsibility, but I had no idea it was even a possibility. When I realized that, I did two more huge water changes using the Python of course, and this time, absolutely no problems. I lost the rainbow shark, every last rummy nose tetra, and there were 20 of them, at least 8 glow light danios, all 4 of the hill stream loaches, and who even knows how many guppies and shrimp. What happened was definitely terrible. It will 100% be a learning experience, a very hard learning experience, but there is still life in the tank. And I refuse to let this video end on a bad note, so after I figured out what the problem was, I watched the tank for a while, made sure everybody was safe, and everybody seemed happy again, and I decided it's best to go ahead and get back on my feet. And what better way to do that than to introduce, or in this case reintroduce, another one of my favorite fish to the tank, and right now that's going to be 4 new hill stream loaches. This group did come in smaller than the ones I had before, but I guess that just means we get to watch them grow more. They did have the same habit though of clinging to the bucket for dear life before they would actually go into the tank. But once they were in, everything was fine. was good to see all the fish, shrimp, and plants start to bounce back after everything that had happened. There is a sense of relief that I was able to at least figure out the source of the issue because I had no idea what it was at first. I still haven't decided all the fish that will end up in the tank, so let me know what you would add down in the comments. But for right now, let's just appreciate all the fish that I do have left in here. Like I said, there's still a lot of life left in the tank. I'm not going to let this experience stop me. I'm going to keep adding more fish and way more plants to the tank to get back everything that's been lost. I hope you all are interested to see where that leads, just like I am. If you are interested, go ahead and drop a comment down below, like and subscribe. Thank you all for giving me some of your time, and I'll be back with another video soon. Thank you.